Hello and welcome to another vlog on this channel. On today's vlog, I'm just going to share on a topic regarding value, and it's not the first time I've taken a topic of value, but I'm going to share something quickly that business experience that actually inspired today's conversation. Now, I tweeted something a while ago, and in that tweet, which I'm going to just put here for you to see, I was expressing that there are two kinds of relationship value expression in relationships, and in one of them, there's the I value you for what I can get from you, and then there is I value you because you are you. Prior to recently, I kind of villainized the first part because I felt like, okay, why would somebody only value me for what I can give them? Like, more like placing a demand, to be valued for who I am. But then, adulting, growing older, made me realize that the first one, as long as it is something both people party can agree to, both party are aware of. If somebody value because of what they believe, you're adding to their life. Voila! I don't think it's not a wrong thing. A lot of our relationships are actually transactional. Then there's the second one, I value because you are you. And the truth is that you can't have that kind of relationships with everyone. Like, there are just going to be few people. And if you happen to have a lot of people that value for who you are, then great for you. But the truth is that that's not something that one would experience with a lot of people. So, and then for someone to value you for who you are, it takes a deeper level of insight for them. And if we also put it on our own, for us to actually value people for who they are, it takes another deeper level of insight, a deeper level of acceptance of that person. Now, I'm not going to go into talking so much about that because I handled that on another vlog, which I'll go to put the link up there for you to actually watch and get more content on that. But then, a recent experience made me realize that we are the ones who put value on things and not on people. The way you value anybody is a choice, is a decision that you make. Some years ago, I decided to try a social experiment on myself to see if I really needed a lot of things to feel contented, and I stopped, buying a lot of things and instead focused on buying quality items that would last me for many years. And hence, because of that, I'm not a frequent visitor of the market. Aside from the fact that if I'm not going to the market to do a random photography session, I don't like I don't really like going out a lot, so I'm not really a shopping spree person. It's actually not my strong point. So because of that, I am not very conversant with prices of items, especially clothing items. Like, I'm not the best person you ask for pricing because I rarely step in there. Recently, I needed to get some clothing, and I decided to get some clothing from a thrift store. We call it Okrika, second-hand clothes. Actually, there are a number of wonderful items you can find there. I actually have some of them myself, and I've shopped from those places before. But like I said, the time frame is a lot, so I don't really have a lot of knowledge about it. And I happen to be in a place where it's like a center hall where you could get these clothing at a cheap rate because other people from other places come to buy and get at a cheaper rate. But like I said, I'm not quite at prices. And like I said, I always like to look for unique items that I believe will last me for a long time, that I know that I will like. So I went to the shop, told the seller the ideal type of clothing I wanted. She brought out some and I selected some. And then I priced her. She gave me her price and then I priced her down. To me, I felt that price I priced was value enough for those clothing, because the last time I bought the clothes, I paid much more for that, and I felt like, okay, this was a boutique, the second hand. I think this price is good enough, and I went feeling good with myself that I had actually made a good deal. By the time I told, some of my very close people the amount I paid for those clothing items, they laughed at me. It remained a little for them to roll on the floor. Probably if I'd even bought it at the price the buyer had told me, because I'm actually a bad haggler. If I believe I can afford the money, the seller is giving me, if I believe it's something I can afford and I think the clothes is worth it, I buy. If I had actually bought it at the price the man gave me, I think they would have rolled on the floor. They were like, no girl, that was very expensive. Like, you weren't even supposed to buy it at that price. Like, it's second hand. That woman actually got a good money, and she could see that you're a good customer. And then it just dawned on me. I was like, to me, I felt that those clothing were worth the price I paid for them. And I felt that the amount she collected was not exorbitant. If I were to make in comparison to amount I've spent some years back, and even as recent as a year ago, as recent that was legit as a year ago, I felt that that was a reasonable price. But then that came down to my heart that there was a value I placed on those clothing, and I felt that the price I had paid them were just good enough. I didn't feel they were exorbitant, but somebody else who possibly would have not valued that clothing the way I did, or who possibly knew the price they could get that clothing, would price more down. And then he put down on me that I value those clothes to be able to pay that amount for them. Now, by the way, it's not as if what I paid was skyrocketing. I'm just saying in comparison to what a person who was conversant knows would pay. And that puts me to say that we are the ones who put value on people. We are the ones who put value on things. And that also puts, also reflects the value people put on us is also their decision to put that value on us. And it also brings me to say that God values us a lot. God values us. John 3:16 clearly tells us that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever should believe in him will not perish but have everlasting life. God places so much value on us, and sometimes if we could just see God the way see ourselves, the way God sees us, to see ourselves through God's eyes, I think it also helps us redirect some kind of focus we place on people. Now, I always like to be very honest. As someone who is still working on a relationship with people and with herself, I realize that whenever I shift my focus from God being my source to focus on any other person, I realize I get very frustrated. The moment I try to shift the focus of God on myself, I get frustrated. And I'll still reiterate and I'll still repeat that our true value lies in God, and it is only God that can actually give us our true value. So at the end of the day, I still love the items I bought, but then the other thought was like, maybe if I had known a little bit, I might have priced them a bit down. But then it also showed me that I value them that much to feel they were worth spending the amount I spent on them. So at the end of the day, whatever value anyone gives to you, or any value you give to them, I believe that you should come to that choice, to that intentional choice of making it. And I hope our choices are actually the good one. So with that, I'm going to stop here. If this vlog blessed you, kindly give it a like, and if you want to give a comment, kindly do. And like I always say, please do not hesitate to actually share to others. Share to others as you believe this is going to bless them. And with that being said, until next time on this channel, let me not say podcast, on this vlog, continue to stay safe and God bless. Bye.